So today I'm going to do a crested gecko breeding video. This is going to be all the basics to breeding cresteds. So I'm going to start out with the housing. If you want to, you can look at my last crested gecko video and it has everything in more detail, but since this is a breeding video, I'm not going to go into too much detail. So for housing, you're going to want to have a pretty big cage, big enough for all of them to move around, and a lot of hiding spots, especially for the females, in case they get scared or stressed out from the male. So for every male, you're going to want 2 to 3 females for breeding so that he doesn't pick on just one. So in here, I have those 2 females in the back, right here. They're both harlequins. And then down up here in the front, hiding in his favorite hiding spot, is my pinstripe male. Go ahead, jump. Alright, so I feed them the same and everything when they're breeding. Same crickets, you know, and all that. So let's talk about when you get the eggs. So this morning, I was looking in their egg box. This is a laying box. You're gonna want to have these if you're breeding, and even if you're not, you're gonna want to have one to keep the humidity up, so they have somewhere to hide. So I was looking, and I found 2 eggs. So when you're looking for eggs, you're gonna want to put your finger and move it very softly so you can find them. And if you find them, don't squeeze them or press them or anything. So I'm gonna put these up here on top of the cage for a second so I can show you something else. This is where I put them so that they can hatch. I usually don't use this, but this is a new contraption that I found. And at the bottom you put the substrate like vermiculite or hatchite. I'll show you in a second. And here it has different compartments to hold the eggs, so each clutch can go in here. So that's that. And I use hatchite, so it's meant for reptiles. You can also use vermiculite, but this has been working for me, so I'm not gonna stop using it. So when I pour it, I'm gonna pour it, since I'm using that contraption, that little egg laying thing, I'm gonna pour it just below where that is, where the plastic part ends. So I'm gonna keep doing. If you're not gonna use the plastic part, you don't need to go as low, you can go a little higher. So that looks just about right. Then what you're gonna wanna do is mist it with a mister, obviously. So you're gonna mist it. You're gonna wanna mist it until it clumps together a little bit. See how it clumps a little bit like that? You could use a little more. So you're gonna wanna do that and make sure that it's not sopping wet and it's not dripping. So this is perfect. So if you weren't using that plastic part, you would obviously go higher and also make 2 little indentations with your fingers and put the eggs in there. See that? You don't want to cover the eggs or go more than halfway on the eggs, because then they'll get moldy. So now I'm going to put this in here. See how that fits like that? So I'm going to have to put it on my lap. I'm going to grab the egg softly. Try to get as much dirt off as possible. Then I'm going to place it into the egg laying container without moving or rotating the egg. If you rotate the egg, there's a possibility, a very strong possibility, that you kill the embryo. So you're not going to want to move the egg. And so there you go. That's putting it in there. Then you're going to put the lid on top. And you're going to poke a hole, a small hole like this, with a pin, just one. That's to let out some humidity so it's not too humid, but it also stays humid, just perfect for them. So for crested gecko eggs, I'm not using an incubator. You can keep them from 72 to 75 degrees. So that's what my house is, so I just keep them like that. And alright, so the lower the temperature range, around the 72, around there, the more time the embryo has to develop, and even though it'll take longer to hatch, you can get stronger and healthier babies. So around 72 is a perfect temperature to hatch these guys out. And I'm gonna show you all the other clutches they've laid for me so far in this couple months. So I'll be right back. Alright, so here are my other 2 clutches that they've laid. These are the ones that I didn't use the plastic piece, and I just put that in the indentations that I made with my finger. So these were laid June 6th, and these were May 28th. So they should be hatching in the next month or so. So if you guys like the video, drop a like, comment if you have any questions, subscribe if you want to. Peace.